There it goes. I was waiting on the tweet. Bot was a little on the slow side today, but not super bad. Anyway, folks, good evening. We're doing the Clue tonight, since no TGSR last night. We're doing it tonight instead. And I figured I'd put the Breath of the Wild soundtrack on kind of one of my favorite songs from the OST that I've heard. Which is the Dark Beast Ganon theme. Guess we'll go there. Since I clicked. I was trying to click and make sure I was clicked in the game so I could see where my cursor is, but oh well. Crank the music down just a little bit. Well, I like this theme because it's it mixes the Breath of the Wild theme in the but can't think of the Guardian theme together and make something really good, and the piano on this is amazing sounding. Yeah, we'll be hitting 9 through 12 tonight of Forza. Next week should be the... Like, it's technically the start of the second arc of Forza, if we want to call that, since I've kind of been like, oh yeah, the first arc of Forza is like the club recruitment arc. And the second arc is kind of, I don't know what to call it. It's been a long time since I watched Forza, so I'll be rediscovering these kind of arcs as we go. Well, we got our card in 2 locations. Fantastic. Yeah, next week we'll start the second arc of Forza, where we're getting into more of the staff of Forza and more of the I wouldn't say the inner workings of the horoscopes, but we'll be dealing with a bit more of the horoscope situation starting next week. Unfortunately, we're only going to get 4 episodes of that, because the week after we do Megamax, and like, that's the one I'm super excited about, because like, Megamax is my favorite crossover film of the franchise. It's what I think is the best crossover film of the franchise. By a long stretch for some of them. I think only Full Throttle comes in second for me. Mainly because, like, the reason I say it's the best is because while it does have this kind of separated narrative that, like, you don't see with, like, the Heisei Generations films, like, it still gives you 2 strong stories for the individual characters. Which I guess, depending on how you like your crossover films, whether you want that or not, I guess is going to affect how you think of the winter crossover films, because most of them are like that. It's only until, like, Genesis that they became, like, more one long story featuring the cast members. Which, I want to say, like, the second Heisei Generations film managed to nail it. Like, the first one, not so much mainly because of the timey-wimey not... Wait, no, that was X8, though. No, that's the Ghost X8 is what I'm thinking of. I know, X8 Build's got the problem of the timey-wimey nonsense that it deals with to get its plot over for some stupid reason. I don't know why it needs to do the timey-wimey nonsense, except to work in that Katsuragi was the one who showed up in the early bird cameo, which, I mean, you could just ignored it. Like, you could have not done that. I don't know. It feels like one of those cases of, like, this feels unnecessary in some respects. Ooh, we have access to practically everything. Let's go to the arcade. Peacock with poison. Poison. The poison. But yeah, like the His Generation subs do try to have a one longer story, but it's not like the other crossovers don't have a longer story. It's just they're subsection off to where this is one show, this is another show, here's a crossover portion. Everything still works. You still get the crossover portion. It's just the last 20 minutes of the movie is when you get it. Which I guess the His Generations movie give you more interaction, which is always a bonus. But I don't think like the other problems with those movies kind of aren't a good trade-off for that. No, Megamax has it's technically 5 parts internally. Because you have a prologue, the O's portion, a double intermission, the Forze portion, and then the proper Megamax crossover portion at the end. Well then, we're just gonna mark that. Yeah, I'm just like excited to finally show Tavi of that this is Megamax. Like, for as long as I've talked about it, from all the different material we do, as much as I build this up, it's like, here it is. Here's the movie. Here's the movie that I keep saying is like the best crossover movie of this franchise. It is the bar. And like Full Throttle comes close, but Megamax I think still edges us out because all of its separate stories are still interconnected. Whereas in Full Throttle, only 2/3 of the story matter in the grand scheme. I mean, we already knew that. Only the drive story is kind of separated and more. It feels more like just here is a drive story in this crossover that doesn't really connect to everything else. That's just happening on the side. Whereas everything in Megamax is a part of the bigger story. I just see this tweet of female Nintendo character's heights, and I'm like, wait a minute, Rosalina is like 7'5"? Excuse me? The fuck you say? She's fucking huge. And like Bayonetta's 8'2"? She's 8 foot tall. What the fuck? Fucking Rosalina's as tall as some of the tallest wrestlers in WWE. What the? Holy shit. And Bayonetta's like taller than the entire roster. Wrestling's on my mind, folks. It's Monday night. It's Monday. Raw was on and I was watching it before because, oh boy, we had a pay-per-view last night called Hell in a Cell, and our main event ended in a DQ in a match that does not have DQs, and it was stupid and dumb. And I was wondering how they were going to handle it on Raw, and so far the answer is, we politely ignore it, in hopes that you ignore it as well. Question is, do I confirm it's Rose? Let's do Rose. Do Poison in the theater. Let's find out. Damn. It's Rose, isn't it? Yep, you had Rose. Of course you did. Thanks. Thanks. Ugh. No information on that. Yeah, I'm really excited for 2 weeks from now for TGSR, because I'm still going to take notes from Megamax, and we will hopefully be watching the director's cut. I'm gonna have to make sure that the website Tommy's watching on has the director's cut version of the movie. It's not like it super matters. It's a director's cut, a la movie workhorse director's cut, where hey, there are these scenes here that feel like just alternate scenes of from other movies or from the same movie. But so it's not like the super biggest deal in the world. You also get like all of the credits, all the scenes in the credits, like not shrunk down to the side during the credits. They actually get to play like full on. Hello. That confirmed Poison for us. Poison. The Poison. And also confirmed Arcade for us. Nothing else at the moment. And knowing Excel like I do makes me do really dumb things. Because since I'm getting in the Soto, which for reference, my Muteki came in today, and I really liked it. Outside of some of the stickers didn't want to stick very well until I gave them a round of nail polish to get them or help them stick and say. But I like it. The only thing I don't like about the Muteki, about Soto Muteki, is that it comes with the Gasicon Key Slasher in like a gun holding position instead of a sword holding position. And apparently the only figure in Soto for XA that comes with the Gasicon Key Slasher in a sword / axe holding form is the original Mighty Brothers release. Or just Mighty Brothers. Like, Max Mighty doesn't even come with Gasicon Key Slasher, which is really weird. It's one of those cases where I'm like, yeah, okay, this was... Like, I kind of have to remind myself that, like, X8 is technically the first Soto, is really the first Soto line. So that's why it doesn't come with a base, the stickers aren't as good as the ones I was dealing with Genius, like, a few days earlier. But, like, figure-wise, everything is here, and everything still feels good that way. Well, since we're here, we might as well try to confirm bedroom. And we have 2 options for suspects, so... Mustard! And... Harris Hall. So fucking help me if you show me one of those other cards. Okay, you showed me bedroom. Okay, so that's 2/3 of those cards confirmed. Linking us either with him having sword to start with, and he just showed his entire fucking hand for no goddamn reason, or swords are a weapon. Yeah, there's no base for Muteki. The sticker situation is a bit, like, not good, especially when there's a lot of armband-like stickers, like, around the biceps, around the wrist, and around, like just above the knee, for those, like, wristband details, and those are a little bit of pain in the butt. And that confirms sword. So his other card is either Candelabra or Veranda. But no, I still like Muteki. Muteki's good. Like, back to my original point when I was talking about Excel, is I went through X8 and build, and technically double, although double is weird because of how its Soto Chronicle releases, where 90% of double Soto is fucking premium. Which, in Soto's cases, just to kind of explain this, if I've ever really explained this, or if you're not in the know, if you're talking to someone that's into Rider and Sentai and that kind of stuff, and they're talking about premium, Bandai has a premium web shop that they release stuff on that more or less they don't think will sell at retail, and is more or less a made-to-order situation that has a pre-order period, and then like several months later it comes out. Currently what just went up on premium is the Zetsubo Riser, the Maverick Gear driver. That you see in 01 with 2 Zetsubo Rise keys. Mammoth and Dodo, specifically. So 2 we'll be seeing in the next month or so. I believe. I don't know when Dodo is. I don't think Dodo's like next week. But like we'll be seeing Mammoth because Breaking Mammoth is the big form coming out this month. But it comes with those, and like you have to pre-order. Now the problem with premium is that they don't ship international. They only ship oh yeah. I'm almost willing to mark that off and say it's probably Mustard. Yeah, it would be Mustard, because if those 2 are there, then yeah, Mustard's our suspect. Question is, we need location. So in order to order off the premium web shop, which bear in mind, more than Rider and Sentai stuff is on here, there's a bunch of other material on here from everything Bandai has access to toy-wise, and a bunch of other material that are not really toys, like clothing and stuff like that. You have to middleman it. And by middleman, I mean you have to go to a more or less a go-between shipping service is the best way to describe it, where you go to a shop that says, you are buying, quote-unquote, this thing from us, when technically you are buying a ticket, buying like essentially a ticket that will be redeemed by this shop when they go ahead and pre-order the thing for you. Now the thing is, there's an upcharge on this to some degree, like $5 to $10 depending on the premium mailman service, just as a convenience fee, more or less. Theater? I'm willing to say theater. Ooh. Damn it. Rose's last card. Damn you, Rose! Okay, so we're 30-30-30 on location. Fuck, we have no information there. We have Veranda, maybe is Green's last card, but nothing else was been guessed for those other two, so fuck me sideways. So this is a... We have to end our turn here because we got no options. At best, it's a coin flip between Banquet Hall and Pier, and that's just a blind guess at that point. And I have to get extremely lucky, and I'm not feeling lucky today. I'm not feeling gutsy on that one. Yeah, this middleman service will buy that whatever you're ordering. It will be shipped to them, and then they will in turn ship it to you. It costs more, and because it's a premium release, the premium release also costs more in itself, so it gets pretty expensive after a while. Pretty expensive. Yeah, still back to the original point. The Excel sheet I made was just essentially all the X8 and build material from the one website I normally go to, which is Monterake, which is a website for all of Monterake's brick and mortar stores in Japan. And when you order from them, you're ordering from that specific brick and mortar store. Which means, technically, if you buy two things and they're each from different stores, you're paying shipping twice. Which is why in my Excel sheet, I have ticks for where each of the things I want from Soto are, like in which store, to more or less optimize shipping. So that I only have to pay shipping once for a lot of things instead of twice or more, depending on like what I'm after. It's just my way of like trying to save some money on this. Yeah, the Double Soto Chronicle still is so weird to me because no other Chronicle series so far, all two of them, granted, only one of them has multiple releases at this point. The other one is only just now going to have a second release next year, which is O's. Den-O is the second Chronicle series, which is... Chronicle for Soto is just there, hey, we're going to go back and do these other shows. Banquet Hall. Mustard dunking himself in jail. Yep. Mustard has officially dunked himself in jail. But, the Chronicle releases for Den-O, I believe, have all been retail. Meaning, for Soto, since a Soto release is made up of multiple figures in, like, one box you can get, for Premium, that's not really the case, since you're more or less buying the set with all those figures. You can't really get things separately unless you, like, find someone who's cracked it open and is selling the individual pieces. Which maybe is not the most optimal way of getting these, because you're probably going to be paying more for less at that point. Anyway, Soto Double, even though it also does have the most releases of these Chronicles, but also 90% of it is premium. The first Chronicle set, which was retail, was Cyclone Joker, Fang Joker, and Lost Driver Joker. And that was the only retail release. The second release was a premium release, which was Cyclone Joker Extreme, Heat Metal, and Luna Trigger. Adler in 2 locations again. Okay, then. Oh, good. We get to meme and blame Scarlet for an eternity until we're told we're wrong. Well, that was fast. But yeah, that was the second release. The third release, which comes out... I don't remember when it comes out, but I think the pre-order is just closed for it, is Axel Trial in Skull, with a parts option for Skull Crystal. And then the fourth set that will come out in January, that the pre-orders are still open on, is more or less the A to Z set, as I will call it, which is Cyclone Joker Extreme, or Gold Extreme, and Eternal. But again, like, all of that is premium, which, considering I am just getting, like, Final Forms and Dark Riders, and the assorted characters from there, having this situation where most of Double is a premium set, and the only way to get a hold of these figures is just to get them in bulk. Well, not necessarily in bulk, together in this set situation is the case of, at that point, like, wouldn't I just get everything then? Especially since the only things I'm missing are probably the easiest to get a hold of things, which are the retail releases. Crypt? I'll go Crypt. Let's go into the Crypt. Say hello to the Crypt Keeper while we're there. Scarlet, as always. You did it with gun. You did it with silver gun. With the special gun. With the special bullets. Damn it. We get the meme for one turn and then no. Actually, you need a favorite someone tell me that, because the Nintendo Heights thing, because I was like, what the fuck? I did not realize Rosalina was a fucking Amazon. Damn. So yeah, like, the only other show at this point that Soto has covered, which, for reference, the shows that Soto has covered are X8, Build, Geo, and now 01. And their Chronicle series has covered Double, Den-O, and O's, with Shoto, like, right now kind of covering a lot of show writer material and some of the assorted, like, first phase Heisei era material. The only thing that isn't covered by Shoto, weirdly enough, is technically Decade, as Decade and The End were released in the Geo line through a subline called Right Plus. Right Plus 1 gave you Decade. Gave you Decade and the parts to make both the new Deca Driver Decade, the pink Deca Driver with all the Phase 2 era riders on it, and Violent Emotion Decade. And then The End gave you regular D end, and then the Neo Deca Driver, or Neo DN Driver D end, which is just, hey, here's a different gun you can have D end wield. So technically, Decade is 90% covered by Soto at this point. We're mainly just missing like the 2 complete forms, and I guess Kibala. Yeah, the only shows I've liked out of that, which is the stuff I want to actually get, is X8, Build, and Double. And Double, even though it's my favorite show, somehow has the dumbest Soto release, because of fucking course it does. So now I'm in the position of, fuck, how do I want to do Double? And honestly, I'm at the point of, you know what? Let's go in reverse order of this and like work backwards. Like, let's just worry about like Build, X8, and O's, and I guess 0-1, since I do want to pick up the first 0-1 set, because all of the 0-1 form changes are really good. I'm not gonna lie. Even if they're not going to be spectacularly used throughout the series, the simplicity of them and the fact that Soto is doing so much work to make them work with minimal stickers is just like, you know, I support this, because I feel like Soto is really liking the fact that 0-1 has a lot of simple designs. It makes their job 5 times easier. There's no intricate details that they have to sticker and weird places. It's just like, oh, it's like 3 colors. 3 solid colors. 3 colors, minimal accenting of a 3rd color. Like, we can do paint for most of this and get away with it. Roll. Banquet hall? We might not get stopped by Peacock on this one. Depends on what we pick. Us and steak? This steak? This steak? The pointy steak? Yeah, I'm just gonna focus on that for now. Like, pick up as I go. Pick up as things are released. And I guess be looser on what I want for each series and feel like I'm not obliged to get everything for every series. Or feel like I'm not obliged to get the same thing for every series, because I can just get what I want. Because, like, if I wanted the same things from, like, X8 and Build that I want, and apply that to 0-1, I'm not getting 0-1 until, like, literally the last handful of waves of the series, most likely. Because what I'm getting out of Build in X8, out of X8's like 10 waves, 10, 11 waves, most of them are from like 7 onward. And Build is about the same case, where I think out of its 11, most of mine are from like 9 onward. I think the only exception to any of that is with X8, and that's stage 5, where I want just regular dangerous zombie Genom. and he only came out. He came in stage 5. I think 7 is when you start getting into here's the final forms. Here's the characters who didn't get final forms but are introduced late in the series. That confirms mustard. And not much else. So yeah, for the past shows, I feel like, okay, I'm gonna get, like, the final forms. Like, at least for these 2 shows, get the final forms, get, like, the characters who don't have final forms but were late. Get the individual characters, get the Dark Riders. And that kind of, like, rounds out a lot of, like, rounds it down a good bunch, figure-wise, and because of the modulicity of the figures where, hey, we released, for XA, we released, like, just about all the different, like, gas hat armors, like the level 2, like the level, not level 2, level 3s and level 5s. Level 5s. To where I'm seriously contemplating, you know, since I'm picking up Laser level 0 and possibly picking up one of the prototype level 3 armors, why don't I just pick up Dragonite Hunter as well, just for funsies? Since I don't hate Dragonite Hunter. And then, like, maybe go back, try to find the Dorima Fabit armor and give it to Poppy, since her figure can take it. This is like, hey, here's Dorima Fabit, if I want to put you in an armor. Build, you can't really do that with, because, like, Build isn't made, that doesn't have a gimmick like that. Damn, all open. But the first one to land on Burnett. But for those O's, I primarily want all of the combo changes to kind of, like, recreate the all combo change stuff from O's Wonderful. Which, the first 2 Chronicles for that are just going to practically cover it except for Akawani, and I'm like, I'm good with that. I'll take that. And then 0-1, I can just go, hey, I want this, I want that. I'll just pick up the sets as I want them. If a set doesn't have anything I want in it, I can skip it. Because, like, right now, hey, I want Valkyrie, so that's set 2, which also gives me Flaming Tiger, which also looks really good. And most likely a form change for Vulcan and Valkyrie, maybe? Maybe they'll do those? And set 2, and then set 3 can be headlined by Jin and Hirobi. The lab, since that's got no information on it. By whatever else, and I am super into the idea of, I know you do this mechanics line for Geo, where you did the time machines. Can you do that again for Breaking Mammoth? Because I'm one of those people who's like, yes, I will take the robot slash jet slash satellite thing. That is extremely up my alley. Aesthetically. Mother... Peacock, why? Ugh. Oh, she can only have 3 cards at the moment. Or no, 4 cards, my bad. What's it? 1, 2, 3... Yeah, 4. We're not gonna have 5 cards. Yeah, there's no obvious places on that one. Thanks, Mother, for turning on off on me. Well, that's Graveyard. That, like, the only question is, I feel like for me, is just, alright, what do you want to do for your favorite show? And considering I'd be getting 90% of those since 90% of it is premium sets, and the last 10% is that one retail wave, and then a lottery figure with Kamen Rider Cyclone, it's just a case of, well, could I just get everything then? But I could just get everything. One ends it's us, but 2 and 3. That confirms Burnett. So yeah, double is the weird one where I'm like, I don't know what I want. Like, most of what I want is in these premium sets, and at that point, since I'm getting most of this, why not just pick up Cyclone Joker, maybe skip out, like, Cyclone Joker and Fang Joker, skip out on Joker, Lost Driver Joker, and Lost Driver Cyclone, even though those are the last two things left. Probably skip out on, like, the last Double Chronicle set, that would probably be Booster and Red Flame Eternal. Since I super don't need Booster, since I don't usually count Final Forms in, like, extended material, and I especially don't need discount Eternal, Proto Eternal, less interesting Eternal, I would just be happy with, like, what's been announced now for Double Chronicle. Because honestly, there's, like, nothing else to release for Double. Like, until you start getting into, I would say manga material, but as far as I know, there's nothing in there manga-wise. Fuck me sideways. There's nothing in there wise that you would do unless it's like new Dopont designs, and Soto's not touching that from the looks of it. Trying to think of what else. Like, I guess then you would go into original. Like, the only other thing would be like original material. Okay, Cyclone Axel Extreme is a thing that you could do, that you could maybe throw into that last Chronicle set just to give it 3 figures and give it maybe a little something more. But again, at that point, it's just like, okay, only someone like me who has who really loves Double would pick this up, and even then, I'm not that far in. I don't have that. It's like, no, I don't need this theoretical form that has more importance in a video game than it does in the actual fucking series. I'm good. Also, we've got Peacock's 2 cards. Let me look real quick. Yeah, we do. No. No, we don't. Orchid. Torch. See how this shakes out. Oh. Oh. Aw. Orchid or Crypt. Crypt. Okay. More than likely Orchid at this point. You know what? Let's go for it. Let's roll the dice on this one. It's probably Orchid, Torch. I would say kitchen, but probably no. So, main entrance? Oop. Damn, throne room. Alright, let's see who gets it. As we are dropped into the void real quick. First, I also have the question, because since I did up the wish list of... or I guess a wish list of, what would, from the other series that I like, I would want from Soto. And it's mainly just the Phase 2 stuff. Because the only Phase 1 series I like are Kuga and Akito. And I wouldn't mind that for me, Soto is from, like, Phase 2 onward. Since, like, Phase 2 has a bigger place for me than the 2 Phase 1 series I like, because they were the first 2 series, and, like, I don't have much connection to those others. In terms of, I like them. But since we know it's Throne Room, let's see if we can figure out everyone else's cards. That confirms Peacock. That confirms... Not sure on that one. Betsy Burnett's. Peacock's down to... Was it 1? 2 cards? Is it 2 cards? We down to 2 cards? No, we're down to 3 cards. My bad. Keep skipping Potion. Yeah, for the other series I like, I'm in the mindset of like, I could do... I'm applying the mindset for Double and X8 and kind of just seeing what they'll do when it comes out. Especially since, like, for, like, Wizard, they'll probably end up doing the mages. So I would love to have the 3 mages. Gaim is one of those. Yeah, there's a lot of things I would like from Gaim. It would probably be the most. Yep, I have library. Oh, I forgot to mark that last one off for Throne Room. Okay, so that... Oh, there's Potion. I don't know. I will poke Tommy and see... Oh, John's doing Quake. I was just like, I wonder what the Q game is that John's doing. Quake. I see. That makes sense. That's an easy Q game. Depends on what version. I guess the question is, what version of Quake? Stupid gnat flying in my face. Oh, okay. I was about to say, I was about to poke Tommy and ask one more. Ask if he's ready. And then, okay, one more. We'll go 3-man. And Sherlock. I'll swap the Empress Orchid. You know, I tried to figure out how to rip the character arts out of this game, since they're not in the folders anywhere that I can find, so I'm like, oh, I have to rip these out of something, and I couldn't find out how. Because I would like to do a background with all the Clue character portraits and stuff. But that's probably not a very feasible thing, I would assume. And then Invisible comes out tomorrow. That game is really good from the demo I played. I'm sure it's only gotten better. I would highly encourage people to check it out. Guy's talking about getting his code for tomorrow. He might stream it tomorrow. I'd probably sit down and watch like a few hours of that and see how it plays. Or see how it shakes out currently. Oh, I got that one. I had to check my email, see when my student loan payment was due, and it's like, oh, it's due tomorrow. Okay. So I will see a withdrawal on my account tomorrow. Ah, the wonders of going to college and having loans. All the loans. Speaking of school, I cleaned out like half my closet today because it's the part I can clean out, since it's the part where it's all my stuff instead of some of my stuff and other stuff that's not technically mine, that's just stored in there. I have 12 goddamn textbooks that I still own that I am very much, I don't need these anymore. I will happily sell these off at a local bookstore around here called McKay's, and hopefully get some money out of it. I'm not sure how much, considering they're textbooks, but if I can get like not all my money back, because that's not happening. But like some decent money, I'd be okay with it. Oh, Ty's doing another GBA Trashathon. Hell yeah. Let's go to the pub. You know, I'm of the mindset that, like, once I'm done with the Rider Tower for Minecraft, that, like, those 2 pre-show slots might just be me setting up some, like, random number generator. Or setting up, like, some type of wheel and then a number generator, or just some type of RNG thing to spin the wheel on all the SNES games I have and just go, alright, we're going to play like an hour and a half of these random SNES games and see if there is a random SNES game per pre-show, and we're going to find out if it's good or not. And I might pick up an NES archive as well, just to throw that on the pile of just like, alright, let's see what NES stuff is good. Just get a whole bunch of ROMs. It's just like, alright, let's find out. But I'm probably going to sell off those books this weekend. Like Sunday? Probably this next Sunday. Just cart them all up there, be like, yo, how much? Take like 30, 45 minutes, just walk around there, see what's there. Because McKee's is a nice little, like, brick and mortar, like, used bookstore. It's, what is it? What did I get? I got a couple games there. I've got a couple of my textbooks there. It was nice. It's only in, like, here in Tennessee and in North Carolina kind of bookstore, so if you're in one of those two states, you probably have heard of McKee's. If not, well, that's probably why. That's nice. Got some decent prices, like any kind of like used places where it's, hey, these are definitely cheaper, but they've been used, but it's a reasonable price. Oh yeah, I've gotten a couple of my like Halo novels there when I was super into the extended Halo lore because I wanted something to read in between classes when I was at the college. I just like have one of the Halo novels on me and I just be reading it like when I got early to class, I would just sit down, crack it open, start reading. Because like that's what I would do before class is just, hey, I'm reading something, so like pass the time before class gets rolling. Ah, some bitch. Ah, drop the hinge. I've fallen off those. I think it's mainly just because like I probably read too much, burned myself out on the extended Halo lore, and it probably also doesn't help that like none of the games really called to it. It was only like Halo. It was I think like Halo 5 was like the first one that really tried to pull from the extended Halo lore. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Too early. Keep an eye on that because I didn't even think about like using that as a method of elimination until Tommy pointed that out one stream, and I'm like, fuck me, I have not even thought about like double checking empty spaces on the column. Okay, so we're back to no information besides potential possibilities. Well, this is going nowhere fast, unfortunately. Harp. Harp. Harpaterpaterpater. Try to pub again. We're more or less just trying to get past Peacock right now, and we have so far not been able to. Granted, nobody's been able to really get past the person next to them. Outside of Peacock, once. That gives us a card. First, the Plums cards. Oh yeah, before I forget, I saw that today, or saw that, I think, yesterday. I probably should mention that. Thank you, Floppy525, for the follow while we were offline. I completely forgot. I just looked over, saw the latest follower, and I'm like, fuck, I should thank him for dropping the follow while we were offline.
Hello.
Hello.
Also, this week's 01 brought some light to things, I should say.
Yeah, it kind of did. We're past
and it might have also brought something for the future if they choose to go back to it, but if not, it can kind of be one of those swept under a rug and be fine things.
Oh, does it involve the girl?
Nope.
Oh.
It involves Jen.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that part.
He was not told that he was a what are they? Magirs?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't told he was one of them. He was told he was a Humagir.
I've come to call them Maverick. Maverick years.
What
Just
I'm
so
kind of wondering, though, is if he technically wasn't corrupted until that belt was put on him.
that is a really good question.
Because we got the whole upload sequence like we got on some of the early ones, too.
Yeah. I know everyone got hung up on the girl, especially like that scene with her with the flashbacks of like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, that is something, but at the same time, I'm like, it could just be one of those things that, the whole statement about without consent. They can't
Yeah.
look like other people.
Yeah.
I feel like, which makes perfect sense, there is some kind of under the table kind of creation for this
Mm-hmm.
that may or may not get exposed later.
Yeah, like the fact that
Like that could be a, well, if they come back and touch it, then fine, but if not, okay.
yeah, I know everyone's getting hung up on the flashbacks she sees and the fact that she specifically says, "We'll meet in heaven again, Dad." It's just like, what the fuck? That's a step too far. Okay, we have questions. We have some extreme questions.
And I have to think they did that on purpose.
Yeah,
to maybe throw everyone in a loop before Jen gets his transformation and that line comes up. But I'm one of those, I'm like, wait a minute.
Eh.
You mean to tell me these Humagears could actually be on the opposite side of the law and there's no programming on their method to stop that? Because that's kind of what that implies.
Yeah.
Like I said, if they never come back to that, that's fine. But if they do, oh wow, there are so many questions and so much more they could do with this. I have to wonder if we're at the point in the show right now where it's a case of they've got a bunch of ideas, they don't know how far they can go with certain ones, so they're kind of setting them all out kind of deal and seeing what sticks the farther they ride with it kind of deal.
Yeah. Because I think, what was it? Get Urobuchi talked about the writing process for Rider, and that I wouldn't say it's like short notice, but you don't have that long to start developing the series before you have to like start actually making episodes. I think I can't remember the exact time frame, but it's only like a few months.
Well, I mean, that's kind of understandable, seeing as how, Baron had a more or less forced upgrade.
Yeah. Like that. Like, Date was not supposed to survive. But it's like, no, he survives. Everyone likes Date too much. He's literally become primary birth, even though his entire arc was to hand over birth to Goto, but no, we refuse. They're both birth, depending on the material.
I mean, I feel like there's too many examples of that.
Yeah.
And I almost get the vibe that that's kind of where we're at with the show right now. It's the writer has so many different directions to go. And, I mean, to be fair, you said it's, for the most part, the same group that did X-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
So now they know how writers kind of set up.
Yeah. They know, like, alright, we only got this much time to develop the shit, to, like, get the framework of our series up and running before we have to crank out, like, actual fucking scripts for episodes. So, like, we need, at most, an outline like a very loose outline, so we know where to go.
And I almost wonder if they're throwing all of this in there to more or less do the whole throw it against a whiteboard and see what happens, see what sticks and what falls to the ground. And that's almost what I get the vibe that we're getting here, because there's a lot of stuff that, case in point, this episode had two right there, where it's like, if they don't come back and touch this, that's not going to be a harm to the show. But if they do decide to come back and touch on this stuff, that could give them the padding episodes that actually still build to the plot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like they're in a better shape now than they were with X-Aid. Because X-Aid kind of just petered out part of the way and ran out of stuff to go back to. And I'm feeling like we're not getting that.
Yeah.
Granted, I know it is super early to say that, but looking at the beginning of X-Aid and then looking at the beginning of 01, it's like, ooh, there's so much more with 01 right now.
Yeah.
It's one of those, you can tell they learned.
Yeah. And I am really liking the form changes, just from an aesthetic standpoint. It has to be like the real simple design aesthetic they've went with, but like, I've liked just about every form change they've done.
You know, I thought the super bright fluorescent yellow was going to just ruin any kind of form changes because they were leaving that there. It actually kind of makes them better.
Yeah. And it's even funnier because of Soto, I've come to like see that like, oh, they like all the different parts move around like completely differently depending on the form. So like on Flying Falcon and Biting Shark, the head's like the face splits apart to make room for the new face. But for Flaming Tiger, the faces actually go on the gauntlet.
Huh.
I never even realized that until I saw the Soto, because this week's Soto blog was Flaming Tiger. And they were like, hey, here's the forearms where the face is. And I'm like, the face was on the gauntlets?
Huh.
Yeah, it never really clicked for me that like, oh, every form change is a little different in terms of how the base Rising Hopper armor moves around.
Which that is a nice touch.
Yeah.
And I also feel like, as far as the form changes, we are seeing really more of an improved version of the way the X-Side stuff was set up.
Yeah.
Because rather than it just being it goes over, it's one of those, it actually kind of becomes the armor.
Yeah, it's more integrated. Like all of 01's form changes feel more integrated into the base suit. And like oddly, I feel like Vulcan and Valkyries, their suits become more complete with form changes. Like they lose the asymmetry, but they become more complete in that sense. Like they're improvements.
Which, from what we saw this week, in this week's episode, they might actually be full-on improvements.
Yeah.
Like, we have to assume that both of them are probably running at half power in their base. So, that is kind of a nice little touch, too. It's one of those, they don't really designate different tier levels for it like they did in the X-Aid, but they don't have to because the suits kind of say it.
Yeah. I have 2/3 of the answer, but I have no location. Thankfully, Peacock dunked herself out of the game because she was completely off base.
Yeah, but that's still a problem too, then.
Yeah. Fuck me, really?
And that's a full-on 50-50.
Oh, one on what Scarlet's last card, or not Scarlet, Peacock's last card is?
That, not so much, really.
Well, bear in mind it could be any of those four. Just because it's hit multiple
What
times doesn't...
What I was more meaning was the location.
Yeah, it's probably one of these two at this point.
Like, the only other thing would lean towards Stark Alley because of the simple fact that they both had it stop on them. Like, it could be possible that neither of them had it. If I was you and going to try to rule one out, I would at least try for that one first, if possible.
Yeah, well, let's see how what the dice says. Dice says you're going to the pub.
That works too.
Well, it was either that or the museum, and I'm not getting any new information out of the fucking museum. Unless I start eliminating their cards, which... Eh.
I mean, you could, but eh.
Damn it! Pub. Now it's a true 50-50. Bear in mind, it's just me and him back and forth at this point. It's heads up. And he has been constantly guessing white. So he's not even close, assumingly.
Unless he's got the suspect and is trying to do something.
No, because white's my card. Yeah, white's my card. He keeps guessing my card for some stupid reason.
Said, unless he's trying to play mind games with you.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the dice fucked him, so... Congratulations, you get no information. Whereas I get all the information!
I was going to say, at this point, you might as well just go Dark Alley and see.
Ah, it's Peacock's last card! Of course it is!
Well, that's good. Because now you know the answer, too, then.
Yep. Thank you, shit roll! So he had Plum, he had Scarlet, he had Razor, and that was it. Go to jail, Watson, you did bad. My first win for the night, and my only win for the night. Alright, I'm going to take the stream down real quick, and we will be right back with TGSR for the week. Stay tuned, folks.